music. What's up? This is Mike Wall back with another episode of the Agent Revolution podcast presented by Mike Wall Live, the place where we deconstruct the biggest challenges facing today's real estate agents so that they can build a sustainable, profitable, and most of all, fulfilling real estate business. Today, we're talking about failure. And specifically, we're talking about failure as it relates to being a realtor, real estate agent, whatever you want to call it. It's no secret in our industry that there is an exceedingly high failure rate. And if you don't know already, the failure rate in our industry, about 85% of first-year agents fail. And of the 15% that survive, about 85% of those fail in year two. And, you know, the more I think about that, it just blows my mind, because what other industries have such a high failure rate? And rarely do you ever hear anybody talking about it or really doing anything about it for that matter. And so I wanted to put together a quick show today just to talk about the top 3 reasons people fail in real estate. And I'll start with number 3 and I'll work my way up to number 1. So I'll talk about the reason why people fail, and then I'll talk about my thoughts on helping to avoid falling for that failure trap. And certainly this is just my opinion. Some of it is fact, but you know, you can order them however you'd like. This would just be in order of what I think the impact of each one of them would have on someone's business. So with that being said, let's dive right in. Keep in mind, you can always enjoy free 8 hours, in fact, of free real estate business training over at www.mikewalllive.com. We changed it up a couple episodes ago, and that website again is www.mikewalllive.com. You can go there, get 8 hours of free real estate business training. So let's dive right in, right? Number 3, the third reason people fail in our industry is that they do not align themselves with the right people. And what do I mean by that? Because, you know, aligning yourself with the right people, you know, there's different ways that you can align yourself with people. You have your friends, you align yourself with your friends, right? Those are people that you have common interest with, maybe that you grew up with. Maybe you played football together, or you cheered together, or, you know, maybe you were in a debate club together. I don't know. Anyway, these are folks that you have commonalities with, right? Your interests are aligned, and, you know, you grew up and you were friends. You know, some people now as adults, you know, they find friends or align with people who have similar interests. You know, maybe if they're an adult and they like to go fishing, right? My son and I just started fishing here recently, and I enjoy doing that with the whole coronavirus thing and staying outdoors and social distancing. So it's alignment is about, you know, values, right? And make no mistake about it, that when you align yourself with friends in business, you want to make sure that it's great that you're aligning yourself with friends, but the expectations of friends, relationships that you have from friendships and business relationships are 2 totally different things. And you want to make sure that when you're aligning someone aligning with someone on a career path, that they share similar interest in business with you. In other words, you are on the same path. Or if it's a mentor, that person is sitting in the chair that you want to sit in, and that they can add value to your life. Going into the office every day and being around your friends doesn't necessarily equal success in business. And while you might enjoy doing that because, you know, that is your friend and you enjoy talking to them and hanging out with them, that can actually be damaging to a business relationship, because that friendship is not doing anything to move the needle forward in that business relationship. So it is critical that you separate those two, and that you are aligning yourself with somebody that has similar business interest. If it's a coworker, and they're going to support you to whatever your business goals are, or if it's a mentor or a broker, maybe that they are sitting in the chair that you want to be sitting in, a few years down the road. Aligning with the right people is imperative, because it can propel you much quicker than if you miss the mark on this one. So make sure and do your research. Remember that, in your local market, there is so much more available to you in terms of, what interests people have, right? And there are a lot of people that don't run a real estate business like a business. They just have a job. And if you don't know the difference between a business and a business is something that performs whether you show up or not. A job is something that does not perform at all if you don't show up. And that's something you have to work towards, but you want to make sure, if that's your goal, that again, you're aligning yourself with the right people. So number 3 is aligning with the right people, and not friendships, but these are business relationships, right? And you have to be able to separate the two. So that brings me to number 2. Well, actually, we talked a little bit about how to avoid that. And before I jump to number 2, just make sure when you are aligning yourself with the right people, again, that you're doing the research and you're looking for people who are doing business like you want to do business, or like they have a business like how you want to build a business. And maybe that down the road looks like maybe you're a team leader and you have agents who you're supporting and helping them grow a business. Or maybe, maybe you're the only person, you're a solopreneur, right? You're just a solo agent, and, you want to get to a certain level of production, and you're aligning yourself with someone else who's doing that. And so when you're avoiding making the decision, the bad decision about aligning with the wrong people, it really just goes to how much research you're willing to do to figure out the type of person that you want to align yourself with. And so that's how you avoid it. Number 2, the reason why people fail is either bad training or no training at all. And when you look at somebody that trains, obviously it's better than no training at all. A lot of times people overlook personal development, and I just don't understand it. People are always, they're just under the impression that if I just work harder, I'll make more money. And while there's some truth to that, you can only scale a business so far before you run out of hours in the day. And then it becomes about not how much you do, but who you become. And when you become the type of person that is able to get more out of every hour that you work, it's so much more impactful than just constantly working harder or longer hours. And so the only way to do that is to train, right? Is to, one way to train is experience, right? And we learn a lot, hopefully, from the experiences that we go through in real estate, whether they be good or bad. But a better way to learn, in my opinion, is to take advice from people who have gone before me and already made those mistakes, right? And to do that, you have to be able to humble yourself to some extent and just say, hey, I don't know it all, but I'm willing to empty my cup and let somebody else fill it up, because I don't know it all. And I want to learn, and I want to be like, this individual. And, it kind of goes back to aligning yourself with the right people. So no training at all. Typically what you'll see in a brokerage that has no training at all is maybe they have a high commission split, and they don't add a lot of value other than their commission split, and that's fine. And then there are some traditional brokerages that don't offer very good training, or they say that they do, and either they charge for it, which is really difficult, especially for new agents to be able to afford like that, or their trainings are at inopportune times, and the people that are conducting the classes in some cases don't even sell real estate, and nor have they ever, and they don't run a successful business, and yet they're running the trainings. And that's not to say that some people can't read through a program guide and be able to disseminate information to you that's not valuable. There's just a better way to do it, and so make sure that if you're choosing a group that you want to align yourself with, or a brokerage that you want to align yourself with, that you share those common business values, and that they also offer really good training. And you may not even know what that looked like, but I can tell you that really good training is going to be something that an individual who is hopefully at the time of, or has before been in a role that you would like to be in, and they're trying to give you the information that they've learned in order for you to get to where you want to go, right? Because the only thing that's the reason why you're not where you're at is just because of what you don't know. And when you learn that information, you're going to advance and get closer to what your goal is. And so, training is extremely important. And what I found really in our industry is there's two different kind of people. Actually, there's three different kind of people, and maybe four, but the three different type of people in real estate that I found are the people that want to be trained, and they seek it out. In other words, they're consistently searching for more training. They're listening to podcasts, and they're just seeking information constantly. And the second type of person, and this is the person I think that gets left behind the most, but is I think a golden individual, are people that are seeking training, they just don't know where to find it. And so, they don't align with the right group to get the information in front of them. And those are quite honestly the types of people that we're looking for. We love the type of people that seek training and just go do it. But we're trying to provide a place also for the people that are seeking training, seeking good training, and just don't know where to find it. And so our goal really is to raise the bar in the industry for training, for production, for just agents having a standard altogether and growing a business. And then the third type of person is the person that they know there's information out there, but they don't seek it, right? And those people, we know they don't last very long in our industry, and that's no mistake. So that brings me to number one. So number two is aligning yourself with the right people, right? Number three is bad training or no training at all. And again, so we talked about what that is, and we talked about how to avoid it. And number one is they don't have any lead sources. And this, to me, this is true, by the way, for any business. Any business that doesn't have a lead source is bound to fail. And there are a few different ways to go about generating leads in real estate. One is to join a team or a brokerage that provides leads for you and teaches you how to generate leads. And then one is to just go out and generate your own leads. And either you pay for those leads, right? You can pay a Boomtown or a Commissions Inc. or a KV Core, right, to help you generate pay-per-click leads online through search engines or social media. And you can pay for expireds. You can pay for sale by owners. And so those are different lead sources. And, obviously there's an expense associated with that, with the exception of joining a team where most of that stuff is provided for you, or at least on really good teams. And, that's a different conversation altogether. But you have to have leads, guys. If you don't have leads, if you don't have a consistent flow of leads, of people that are registering on a website or who are trying to sell a home, and you're not trying to get in touch with these people, your business is failing right now and you don't even know it. Now, granted, there are people who do really well with their sphere of influence. And certainly I think that is an integral part of a successful business. And you've all heard me talk about the law of 33. There are 3 different lead generation sources. Your SOI, your sphere of influence, is 33.3% of a well-balanced business. Your outbound lead generation is 33.3% of your business. So that's outbound lead generation. That's neighborhood prospecting, right? That's calling out into neighborhoods and doing just listed and just sold campaigns. And then number 3, that represents the last 33.3% of a well-balanced business, is your inbound lead flow. So that's internet lead registration. That's the inflow of leads that are coming to you and then you're following up with, right? But this is the number one reason people fail in real estate, is because they don't have lead sources. And so, you need to make sure that if you're not generating leads and you don't know how, that you get some training immediately on how to generate consistent leads. And I don't mean, 1 or 2 a month. I mean, you need a lot of leads if you want to generate a level of income that will allow you to thrive in this industry. So, if you're in a place right now where you're not generating leads and you want to know how to generate more leads, please feel free to reach out to me, to DM me. I'd be happy to show you how we're using technology to generate over 800 leads every single month. And then I'll show you how to convert those leads into sales, because that's the second piece of that, right? Is generating leads and then converting them, right? A lot of people can generate leads. It's the conversion that some people struggle with. So those are my top 3 reasons why people fail, and then how to avoid them, right? So number 3, again, was aligning yourself with the right people. Super important. Number 2 is training, personal development, right? Seeking information and consuming that and implementing that. And, so whether you're a seeker, or, a seeker and a doer, or you're a seeker and you've not been able to find the information that you need in order to get to where you want to go, certainly that's something we can have a conversation about too. And number 1 was failure to lead generate, or no lead sources. Lead sources are critical for sustaining a career in real estate, or an industry for that matter. So that's my top 3. Again, I'm putting these videos out so that hopefully they reach the right individual, and maybe that's you, and that you find us in time, and that you have the ability to be able to partner with us. And hopefully we can grow our businesses together. And in doing that, make this a much better industry, not only for, our fellow realtors, but also for the consumer, right? Because the more educated we are in our positions, the better experience we can provide for the consumer, right? So as usual, I love sharing these stories week after week. I love sharing these trainings week after week, because I know this show is literally changing agents' financial lives, my own included. Do me a favor. If you enjoy the podcast, please share it with your friends, with your coworkers, with anybody who you think might be able to consume this and take action on the material within it. And don't forget, if you want 8 hours of free real estate business training, Absolutely free, no strings attached. You can go to www.meet. I did it again. It's not www.meetmikewall, although that will get you into my schedule. So if you want to schedule time with me just to discuss your business, you can go to meetmikewall.com. But the free training is at www.mikewalllive.com. And that's it for this one. Thanks for watching or listening.